comes to mind when you hear you most likely think of Naruto. It's his catchphrase after all. But what does Datebayo actually mean? And why is Naruto saying it? So, small Japanese lesson. Datebayo is heavily influenced by the Japanese words dayo and dateba. The word can be broken down into 3 parts: da, teba, and yo. Da is the informal word for des, which means to be. Teba can be translated as I'm telling you or I swear. Yo is an and particle that is usually used to emphasize your statement. Okay, this information probably didn't really help, but the most important thing for you to know is that Datebayo doesn't have a literal meaning. It isn't even a real Japanese word. You should rather see it as an expression that makes Naruto sound childish and energetic, but also underlines his reckless and unwavering personality. Datebayo is actually something that Naruto made up, and that's what makes it so special. No one else uses it. When you hear Datebayo, you hear Naruto. So now that we have established the importance of Datebayo, let's get to the next question. Given that Datebayo doesn't really have a meaning, how did the translators actually translate it? Well, they did and they didn't. In the anime dub, Viz Media opted to translate Datebayo as "Believe it!" Unfortunately, it doesn't really convey the meaning of Datebayo and comes across as obnoxious. Why they chose this phrase is anyone's guess. The anime eventually dropped this phrase entirely. The manga, weirdly enough also licensed by Viz Media, thankfully didn't come up with a cringy catchphrase. Instead, they didn't translate Datebayo at all. Take a look at the following panels. As you can see, there's no literal translation for Datebayo. This omission became a minor problem for Viz Media when it turned out that Datebayo is actually a family thing. Naruto's mother, Kushina, uses Datebane, and his son, Boruto, uses Datebasa. It's actually through the use of a catchphrase that Naruto realizes that the person standing in front of him is his own mother. So how did the translators solve this issue? They went ahead and translated Kushina's Datebane as Yano to show that she has a rubber tick. Later on with Boruto, they didn't bother to translate Datebasa, since it didn't serve any plot purposes and it was very obvious that he is Naruto's son. So does the omission of the phrase Datebayo change anything? Not really. Even without the use of Datebayo, the translations still managed to convey Naruto's energetic and determined personality. For the most part, dubbed Naruto is the same person as the original. When it comes to translations, you're always bound to lose some of the meaning, especially if you're translating from a language like Japanese, which has a lot of nuances. But it's not the end of the world, and as Naruto fans, we should know that sometimes you have to make some sacrifices to get your happy ending.
Believe it!
Seriously, who came up with this?